Brink er altså et af spillene, som I kan se på den lille ting, der sidder her, nomineret til måske det bedste spil. You're smiling already. You knew what I was saying.
I got a rough idea.
Yeah, that's my game. That's my game. Okay, so you're nominated. What's up with that? Is that good?
Basically, just means that a group of journalists have got together and decided that they think that this is one of the best games at Gamescom. So it's really nice, really cool.
So what is Brink about? What is the tale of Brink?
Well, at its foremost, it's basically a shooter. But it's a shooter that you can play offline or online, so we're completely blurring the lines between playing with no internet connection, playing cooperatively and playing competitively. It takes place on the Ark, which is this huge floating city that was built in the middle of the sea as part of a kind of green vision of the future. But you go into the game in 2045, and really it's just now become the focus of a horrific conflict between competing social factions.
When making games like this and shooter games, working for the company that you work for, having made titles as Fallout and stuff, do you draw a lot of inspiration from those games, doing this?
Well, we certainly do. I mean, at Splash Damage, we've only ever worked on first-person shooters. So we did Wolfenstein Enemy Territory Quake Wars for the PC. And then when we announced our brand new partnership with Bethesda Softworks back in 2008, a big reason for that partnership is because they'd done such great work on things like Oblivion and Fallout, and they had these really strong RPG elements. And that's something that's a feature of Brink too. In Brink, we have persistent character advancement. What this means is that your player, you play through the whole single-player campaign and the multiplayer campaign. When you get to the end of that campaign, you've invested all of your time in this character. Well, if you go online, you use the same character with all those same cool skills and abilities and tools and items and gadgets and weapon unlocks and upgrades and stuff.
So is this for the people who are into the whole hardcore, semi-RPG kind of thing, or could everybody sit down and play it?
No, I think anybody could. One of the things we've done with Brink is to really improve the way movement works. So we have a new button called the Smart button, and Smart basically stands for smooth movement across rough terrain. As a new player, when you push the Smart button and you push forward, it will help with little jumps and vaults and slides and climbs and stuff, so you can focus on the shooting. But as an advanced player, you can start to use it in combinations with things, so it really becomes a kind of parkour-style play.
So, okay, if you win this award, what would you say in your winning speech?
Oh, I don't know.
You have to prepare something, thank God.
I don't know. I suppose we, as a video game developer, it's really cool to get awards and stuff, but the main reason that we make games is to try and make sure that gamers enjoy themselves and feel like they get good value for money, and that, because games can be expensive things, and we want them to feel like they can play something for months, just not just for 10 hours. And I think this is really a mantra for much of what Bethesda do. Fallout, 120 hours or whatever, I've got friends who have been playing it for. So I think that if we're lucky enough to win the actual award itself, we'll just say thanks to the journalists.
How important in single-player shooter games are the RPG element for you?
Oh, I think it's really important because when you invest in a character, when you've spent time developing a character, you start to feel a kind of attachment because the character starts to remind you of those experiences that you had, and that's really a feature of our game, that if you come into it as a single-player game, there's this big arcing narrative. You can fight as the resistance or fight as the security and see the entire story. But once you start to go online, that narrative from the game starts to kind of morph into your own player stories that you're able to tell friends about because of the experience that you have when you're playing online. And so in Brink, you can customize fully your entire character. You can swap out, your trousers, your jacket, your shirt. You can have scars, tattoos, war paint, all kinds of different ethnicities and ages. Even the accent that your character talks with can be modified. And so there's just an opportunity really to give players absolute ownership and complete freedom in a game.
Do your actions have consequences in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things about Brink is that as you play through the game, you make a decision at the very beginning. Are you going to fight for the resistance, who represent the refugees, who believe they're just freedom fighters fighting for a fairer distribution of resources, or against what they perceive to be a security that's oppressive? But you can play as the oppressive security force too, witnessing their side of the stories. But I think one of the things that our writer, Ed Stern, talks about a lot is the fact that, nobody really sets out to be evil, and say, I'm evil, that's what I do bad stuff, I oppress. That isn't how it works. Everybody thinks they're right, and so our security believe that they're just trying to maintain law and order, that they're defending the founders. And we do a lot with the story to really confuse and confound those views about right and wrong and oppression versus liberty and so on.
When will us immortal people be able to play Brink?
Well, we're going to release on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and PC in spring 2011.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you very much.